Okay, so welcome everyone to today's live. Today we are going to be talking about digital doesn't mean not personal, and digital doesn't have to be scary. And obviously at the moment, because of all the changes to our normal business way of communicating and working because of the COVID-19 crisis, I just wanted to bring some experts on in their own field just to discuss to you how they're changing up the way they're working to bring their business a little bit more digital than they previously were. So I have Jan Gould, Tracy and Tori, and I'm going to let them all introduce themselves to you first, and then we've got some questions to work through. But before I do that, I just wanted to let you know that if you're watching me live, please do ask any questions and we'll have time to do questions at the end. And also, if you're watching the replay of this, then please, if you have any questions whatsoever, pop them in the comments below this video or above this video, depending on where you see it. And one of us or all of us will come back and answer the question depending on who you've addressed it to or what you've addressed it about. So without any further ado, first of all, I'm Anita Wong, if you didn't know me, and I'm a digital strategist and tech coach. And I just like to bring digital to you in your front rooms at the moment, or in from your laptops, just to make it a little bit easier for you to know that it's not as scary as it seems, and that we can all do it at whatever level we are at of our business. So I'm going to just let Jan introduce herself, and we can go round and let everyone introduce, and also where we're from. So just unmute you, Jan. Hang on. So Jan, thank you for joining me today. Would you like to just introduce yourself to everybody?
Yeah, pleasure, Anita. My name is Jan Gould. My business is called Inspiring Growth, and I'm a change management consultant and leadership coach. So there's two sides to my business. Obviously, the coaching I can carry on much using telephone and Zoom, but the consultancy and particularly the training side of it is obviously lots of changes going on. I'm based in Ealing in West London. I am self-isolating at the moment because I've got asthma, so I'm in my sort of home office for the next 14 weeks. So I will describe myself as a bit of a technophobe, and I've been working with Anita for a couple of years now, and Anita's held my hand through embracing technology sort of little by little.
Okay,
so looking forward to the call.
Brilliant, thank you, Jan, that's great. Okay, we'll just mute you now, and then Tracy, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep, we can. Brilliant.
Okay, hi everybody. I'm Tracy. I'm from Malaysia, and I'm a yoga instructor. So during this COVID-19, there's a big change. I think a lot of things will be evolved now. So I don't have any idea what to do. Probably maybe can teach online. Yeah, but
yeah.
Anyway, I also don't know how to go digital. But yeah, although we are in Facebook, but I'm not very good in doing digital things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a prime example, Tracy, of how usually when we practice what we practice, we usually do it in person. So moving on to digital can be quite scary and quite hard, but we're going to be working together. Tracy's in my digital lounge, which is a free group on Facebook, and we've been going over sort of different ways of trying to get ourselves a little bit more seen. So I'm going to jump over to Tori to let her introduce herself, and then we're going to run through the questions, and hopefully what we come up with will be of help to all of you. So let me just unmute Tori, and I'll just mute you for a second, Tracy. So Tori, would you like to introduce yourself and let us know where you're streaming in from?
Sure. Thank you so much for having me, and it's so good to be here and actually meet you. And I'm streaming in from South Africa. I'm actually a swim school owner, and I also specialize in helping other swim school owners with their digital marketing. So to grow and scale their swim schools and build their dream swim school.
Okay.
So I am really excited to learn new things, and for the first time this morning I did use StreamYard, so with Anita's advice. So I'm in her lounge and I'm just getting so much value from you, Anita. So I really do appreciate it. You always bring, you like just give so freely and always jump on to answer any of my questions, no matter how trivial they might seem. But I also feel that I can also ask you anything. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate.
That's okay. No worries. Okay, so what we're going to do today is the next question that we're going to be doing is basically, I'll pop it up on the screen so we can all have a think about it. What are you doing differently in your business right now? So before I go round the table and ask everyone, obviously what we should be doing right now is looking at how we can move our business from face-to-face to digital. Now, digital doesn't have to be scary, like I said to you. There are lots of apps that we already have on our telephones that we can use to help us get online and in front of our prospective clients. Now, obviously, things have changed, and obviously people's incomes have changed. People might have lost income coming in and things like that. But what one needs to remember is that if we are still showing up through this period of crisis, people will remember us afterwards when they need our help. And that's what this is all about. It's about building your brand online whilst most people are sort of recoiling and not doing it. If you are out there offering solutions and offering value, people will remember. Now, we do have quite a mix of talents here, so it's a really good way of looking at how you can use those apps differently. So just as an example, here on the desktop, we're using what's known as StreamYard, which is an online conferencing tool that you can live stream into Facebook. Now, there are different levels to the plans. I'm not going to go over those, but I will put the names of all the apps that I would recommend in the comments below. So StreamYard is one, Zoom conferencing is another. But the ones that you've got at your fingertips right now is in Facebook, you can go live using Facebook Live. You can pop your phone up on a little tripod and you can actually do the classes that you would normally do into maybe a private group or even onto your page. And it's those sorts of things that you've got to think about, because it just helps you think outside the box a little bit and just think, okay, so we're in this situation. There's a lot of people at home. There's a lot of people not able to go out. Fortunately, in England at the moment, we're not on complete lockdown, but I don't think that's going to be very long. But I know some of you are on very restricted movements. And it's like, how can I help these people? If I'm a yoga instructor, or if I'm a swim school instructor, if I'm a personal coach and leadership, how can I help them in this situation that would help them just manage this evolving state? So the first question is, what are you doing differently in your business right now? So I'm going to start that off with Jan, and then we're going to work through 3 questions, and then the second question will go. But we're going to ask all of you what you're thinking about doing differently, or what ideas you've got to do differently, and then I will help you by coming up with some answers if I can. So we're going to go to Jan first. So Jan, so what are you trying to do differently with your business at the moment?
I mean, in no particular order. I've just done a bit of a brain dump. The first thing is I'm adapting my hours. So, for instance, I was coaching working with a senior manager yesterday who actually just needed to focus on what she needed to get out of this week, because she's in the health sector. So, being more flexible and less boundaried with my time, so that I can be there for clients when they need the support. So that's my first thing. Obviously, I'm not going to be doing a lot of training, so I am now pondering whether I can offer sort of Zoom-based short training sessions to perhaps teams that are struggling to adapt at the moment. But I'll very much take that as being sort of play it by ear. That's sort of just an idea at the moment. For my coaching clients, I am quite a face-to-face girl, so I've spoken to all my existing clients and agreed whether we'd work on phone, Zoom or Skype. So obviously taking that online. And obviously my networking meetings, they've all gone online now. My diary's full for this week, which is a nice, a nice thing to report. And it's business as usual, albeit not in my office, completely in my office.
Okay, that's brilliant. So as you can see, sort of Jan's approached her current client list. She's actually reached out to them and asked them who wants to carry on over Zoom and over one-to-one conferencing. And then obviously a lot of networks who normally would meet face-to-face are actually coming online and networking online. And we're doing that ourselves this afternoon inside my digital marketing lounge as well. We're having a go at all coming together on Zoom as well. So it's something to bear in mind that if you are a group leader, or if you usually do networking face-to-face, or you're normally in a workshop environment, to actually reach out to your current client base and say, actually, shall we take it online? Zoom is a really good tool for this, and they are offering, they do have a free package where you can go up to 40 minutes without having to pay per session, and it's a really good tool to have a little go at and have a little play. So let's go to Tracy and find out from her what she's trying to do differently in as a yoga teacher. So what have you tried? What have you tried to do differently, Tracy, at the moment?
Okay. Since last week lockdown, so I've been doing Zoom online. Zoom. I've been doing Zoom online live lead practice.
Yep.
With students. It's considered as a practice as well. So I just want to know how's the connections between my students while doing live. And at the moment, I also create one page lead practice as well, lead live practice as well. But so far, response is not so good lah. But this is what I'm trying to do. That's it.
Yeah. Okay, so that's really good. So I would carry on doing the Zoom calls on a one-to-one with your clients, and perhaps to try and raise your profile for when things go back to normal. On your page, do a 10-minute live every day. So whilst you're at home, think of a time in the day where people would want to practice yoga as a discipline. And on your Facebook page, you can set up your phone and you can lean it like on the kitchen cupboard so that you get a good view of what you're doing, and just do the practice that you're doing. You could do a little introduction, do the practice, and then finish it off. And what that will do is that if you're turning up regularly on your Facebook page, Facebook will see that you are actively doing things, and it will start to give you some more reach with the organic posts. The more you are present on your chosen platform, the more you will be rewarded. Now, Facebook is not the only platform that you can go on. Obviously, yoga is very visual, so you could try doing it on Instagram Live. So when you go into your Instagram stories, and you, instead of doing short updates, you could actually go live through the Instagram stories, because Instagram itself is a platform that's not that easy to go live. You don't go live in the feed, but you go live in the stories, and you can always download that live once you've finished and save it to your camera roll and upload it onto a different platform if you want to. So there's lots of different options, and you could also reuse that video and pop it up onto YouTube perhaps as well, and start a yoga practice on there. So those are some of the ways. When you do it for one platform, you can repurpose those videos on other platforms without having to do it again, if you get what I mean. So that's a really good way. So well done with starting that initiative, because it is quite hard to know how to sort of like start it up. But your mobile phone or your laptop has got some really good tools inside, and especially your mobile Instagram inside the story, lots of different like boomerang, you can record, you can go live, so it is really versatile. And so is Facebook. For going live on your mobile from Facebook's really good as well, because it really just throws it out into the world, and from your business page you are going to be public. So thank you for that. So we're going to jump over to Tracy, to Tori, and see what she's been doing differently, because obviously Tori, you're slightly different because you're like running different teams. So what have you been doing differently recently?
Yes, so I've been self-isolating for the past 9 days now. Mm-hmm. We've just totally distanced ourselves, and I had to. So normally we close our swim school over winter. So it was 1 week before I was due to close that I did decide to close. So I lost 1 week there, but I have just been going. I haven't been live on my swim school Facebook page, but I've been doing that. So
Brilliant.
And I've also just been much more aware of my social media and trying to go on Instagram as well. So I've been, trying to figure all that out. And then I'm also a swim school, like a teacher mentor. So which was quite exciting, which we haven't done before. I got all the people in our area and I said, let's do a virtual coffee date. And so I organized it on Zoom and it was a great success. So that is the first of its kind. And it was so convenient because no one had to travel anywhere. Normally we travel to each other's houses or to restaurants, and we could just all do it on Zoom and it was really fun. Yeah.
Brilliant. So yeah, that's really good.
So as well as that, I'm also like an educator in the swim school industry. And I don't know if South Africa's quite behind, but I'm trying to encourage them that we get the program online, or I do it through some sort of program. I know Zoom's got its limit to 40 minutes, but I'm just trying to figure out. At the moment, I'm in that space of I know that we need to do it and I need to kind of get the ball rolling, but I don't know where to go.
Yeah, I mean, it is difficult because obviously when you're trying to move things online, but what I found as a course creator is that the attention span of your students tends to not be more than 10 to 15 minutes at any one video anyway. So with Zoom, because Zoom we are using as a conferencing tool, you can also use it to pre-record your own videos without going live and without actually having other people in the meeting. So you could pre-record videos using Zoom. So that goes for Tracy as well. You could pre-record some sessions and then use those later. Now, there's lots of different places that you can do your courses. I'm a real advocate for Thinkific, but, obviously, I use Thinkific for my courses, but there's a different, like I started in Facebook groups. So I ran my programs that I now have on Thinkific, which is like an online course provider, inside of Facebook groups for 2 years first, because you want to know whether there's a call for it, there's a need for it, and there's people actually want it. And Facebook groups is free, so you can set it up. There's lots of things you can do in groups that can help you to actually create a program as such. So, and also with self-isolation, obviously we are all like, I have 3 teenagers at home at the moment, and they are supposedly self-schooling. They are doing some study, but obviously they don't have the school to cook their lunch and stuff. So it's like, Mom, when is lunch? And those sorts of things. So it interrupts your day routine that you would normally have. So thinking about your time and everything like that can help as well. So we're going to move on to the second question, which is, what difficulties have stopped you? So this is talking, number one, I suppose, about our daily routine being completely changed, but also the tech, like what tech has stopped you? And like we've touched on it a little bit. So we're going to start with, I'll start with Tracy for this one, and then we'll go round and we'll just find out what tech has stopped you. So Tracy, what sort of tech have you found? What sort of limitations have you found when it comes to like moving your practice online? What have you found difficult?
What I found difficult. As for me, I think everything, like video apps, everything, because I'm totally green of all these things. Yeah, like now I'm practicing like to use Zoom, but so far it's okay. I'm still learning how to manage. And then like if I'm teaching online, one of the main thing is mic. I need cordless mic, but I don't know what kind of cordless mic do I need to buy.
Yeah. So
I don't know all these things.
Well, a cordless mic would be one that you can use for like that's Bluetooth connected. So most computers have a Bluetooth ability, and so does your phone. So a microphone that you can get you could connect with a Bluetooth connection, even like the Apple EarPods, like they're connected with Bluetooth. So if you've got earphones that have a microphone on that are Bluetooth enabled, you could use those. Another way of doing it, if you haven't got Bluetooth, is to put a microphone with a longer cable. So I'm using this little snowball at the moment, but it does have quite a long cable on it. So you could stretch the cable between you, where your laptop is, and where you're practicing, and it can just pick up the noise. Because if you can do it in a room that's sort of enclosed, you'll get a little bit more noise sort of bouncing off the walls. But also remember that with yoga, I suppose it's quite a quiet practice when you're doing it. So you could always add your voice afterwards as well. But your telephone has got quite a few apps on as well that like to help with video, and especially inside of Instagram. Instagram has got a lot of different apps, and also in stories. So Facebook stories and Instagram stories both have really good apps that you can utilize to use video. And I don't know whether, obviously, with delivery problems at the moment because of lockdowns and people not moving around, some distribution of these products will be quite difficult. So adapting yourself and the environment will help increase the sound. So if you can practice in a quiet area where there's not any external noise, then that's really helpful with the microphone. Most computers and phones will pick up audio quite well, but in the long run, it's really good to perhaps get a Bluetooth microphone. And I use a company called Rode, Rode. They're a company that create microphones, both plug-in and portable, that are quite useful as well. So that's what you could do. Okay, so let's jump over to Tori and see how what sort of things have been stopping, what difficulties and limiting factors have been stepping in the way.
Well, first of all, I still have a big problem with sharing my story or my post on Instagram to my stories. So my one page, I don't know why, but I am still not able to do it. I've been working at that problem for a few weeks now. I've uninstalled the app, installed it. So that's one thing that's quite frustrating, because obviously then it's easier just to post to your stories the post that you've done. So that is quite frustrating, but I'm not giving up. So I'm sure there must be a solution to the problem.
I think the trouble is with Instagram is that it is a bit buggy sometimes, and it doesn't roll out every feature. But if you don't have that little aeroplane on your post, then it really is just waiting for it to roll out to your area, because that would be the thing that you would need to look for. Because just checking on my Instagram now,
I do actually have that little aeroplane, and for my one account, I click the little aeroplane and it says share to stories, and I can share. But for my other page or the other account, it has the aeroplane. I click the aeroplane, but it just doesn't have the option to say share to stories.
Okay, it just says share with other people.
Yes,
yeah, that's a real pain. I mean, the only thing you could possibly do is a workaround that is to put the post content, if you're okay in front of a camera, is to record something longer than 1 minute so that you could put it into Instagram TV. So, with Instagram TV, you can share you can link your Instagram stories to your Instagram TV.
Oh, okay.
So basically, it's like a bit of a triangle. So if you put a normal post up, say like it's talking about ways to build confidence when you're teaching kids to swim, perhaps as an example, then you do a video that you basically just speak about what you've written in your post for a minimum of 1 minute, and you upload that into your Instagram TV. You can then do a story post and you'll get the little link that shows up, and it will allow you to link the Instagram TV post. And in the Instagram TV post, you can tell them that you've got a longer post on your feed. It's a long workaround, but if it will enable you to reach a wider audience, and you won't get as frustrated with the fact that you can't share directly to your story. So that's a workaround that you could perhaps have a little look at that might help. Yes. And there are some videos on my YouTube channel all about how to do Instagram TV. I've just put a whole new series on there on how to use Instagram TV. So if you wanted to check that out, you can, and I can put the link to my YouTube in the comments as well. So that would be
fantastic.
Okay,
I'll definitely take a look at that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's just thinking outside, like just those little workarounds to try and get around the bugs whilst they're in. And obviously at the moment, because Facebook and Instagram are working on a skeleton crew the same as the rest of us, they've back to a lot of their automated responses for things, and it's obviously going to take a little bit of time to get that sorted. Okay, so
I wanted to ask you as well about like a ring light or whatever you need to make your face brighter.
Yeah, so a ring light you could use. I have some little ones here. I just happen to have it in my drawer actually. I have one like this. Now, this is a small ring light that will sit on top of a standard tripod. So if I were, where's my little tripod gone? Oh, here. So I could get this like tripod, and there's a little adapter that you can put on the top, and then you can put your ring light there, and you can sit it behind your laptop. Now, at the moment, if I move my camera around, I have quite a big one. So I have like a larger one that people use sometimes for it's like, if you can find it in places like Amazon in the makeup and beauty section, because they use it a lot for like when they do their makeup and beauty videos. But you will also find that sort of ring light in the standard IT section of, say, Amazon. I know I keep mentioning Amazon, but Amazon is like, it is quite a good marketplace for this sort of thing. But a smaller one like this would fit into your rucksack if you wanted to take it anywhere. And they all come with a USB port that you can then plug into, say, like your iPhone charger, or you can plug it into your laptop, and that works really well. There is also I don't have it here, but there's also a portable one which is quite tiny. It's about that big, that you can clip onto your phone. And the way that it clips on, it clips underneath the camera. So it sits like this. And that's quite good for if you're doing lives on your mobile, because if you're out and about and you instantly want that little bit of light just to stop the darkness. Sometimes I sit in my car and do lives, and I stick it on then. And I'm just sat in the car park talking to myself on my camera, like on my phone. But because I've got the little light, and they're all USB, so you can plug them all into your USB and things like that. So lighting is really important. Natural light is the best light. So I don't know if you can see slightly, just like the curtains just there. That's my light. There's a window there. Sometimes I will move over and have just a natural light on me, because natural light works the best when it comes to filming and to going live and things like that on video. But if you don't have access to natural light all the time, or it's too bright, because sometimes you don't want it to wash you out, having like a sheer curtain or actually having a ring light can also help you. So so definitely lighting is something to think about when you're doing your videos, because you do want people to be able to see what you're doing and things like that. So so brilliant, thank you, hope that was helpful. Okay,
it was. Thank you.
Okay, brilliant. Sorry, let me just go to Jan then. So Jan, what difficulties have you been experiencing sort of trying to get transferring over at the moment with tech?
Yeah, but you've touched on just then some of the things I was going to talk about. So there's probably two sides to it. I'm still quite a novice on Zoom, so I need to get more familiar with it. I've been, giving it some attention, but I need to actually probably allocate a half day just to have a good old play around with it and see what you can do. I did watch your great YouTube video on Zoom the other day, Anita, and for instance, I understand you can get a background, because if you look at me at the moment, you can see my door and this, that, and the other. So I want to try and set it so I've got a more professional backdrop. And then And just as you were saying, I need to look at lighting and microphones and all that malarkey. So I look and sound a bit more professional when I'm working with people online.
Yeah.
So it's we've all reacted very quickly, so I don't think it's an urgent thing. It's just something that if I'm going to use this as an opportunity to embrace technology, I need to give those things some attention.
Yeah, and also like you said, let me just mute you for a second because there's a bit of an echo. Also, what happens is that when we are sort of like almost thrown into this situation, we don't have to worry too much about what's behind us, because everyone, the beauty of live TV and live streaming is that it is live, so people want it to be natural. I've been going live online for quite some time, so as you can see that side, I've got like a little setup with a few plants and things, but you could just have a plain wall. You could, as long as it's quiet, because I think quietness is the key. If you know there's not too much external noise, then you're pretty much okay. Most people will accept doorway, nobody's really gonna worry. Microphone and lighting, I think, is really key, because obviously you want people to be able to see your face, you want people to be able to interact with your reactions and your facial expressions, and also you need them to be able to hear what you're saying. And having a good Wi-Fi connection is also really important, because you really do need to be able to stream clearly, and also with the repurposing in mind, having not to have to redo it over and over again. So we've had one comment here, I like the idea of not wasting what you do by repurposing your message. And it's true, you can do a live, save the live, even if you forget to save the live on your mobile phone, Facebook will have it in there anyway. So you can also download it from Facebook. Most places, because you create the video, will allow you to download it, and then you can use it elsewhere, which is a really good tool to have in place. So we're going to go to the final question, which is, where are you going online? So there's a few little formats to this. So where are you going online? How are you using the different platforms and formats? And have you done any lives or small lives, or are you doing small updates? And are you doing it in groups? So it's things like that. So we're going to start with Tori this time. I think she hasn't started a question, and then we'll go round and see. So obviously we've touched on all of these aspects, but Tori, you were saying that you've been trying out Facebook and Instagram. So how's that been going?
Yes, it's going well. So I'm just trying to get the hang of it and trying to learn all the little tips and tricks, because I think actually once you think you know it all, but there's like so much more that you can do and that goes on. So I think it makes life so much easier and more interesting when you know all the little tips and tricks about all these different platforms, which is quite exciting. So I have also recently started a group. So I've also done trying to do some like training in the group and put that into units, and it's a lot of hard work doing all of that, and it's also I'm learning a lot as I go along, so I'm just trying to keep up with everything.
Yeah, and remember that at the moment, because Instagram and Facebook are connected, if you post on Instagram, you can automatically post it over to Facebook. So, but when you do that, bear in mind that Facebook doesn't like a lot of hashtags. So if you've got hashtags on your Instagram account, post and you're sharing it over, just take some of the hashtags out when you're sharing it. It won't remove them from the original post. It just means that when it goes over, it's a little bit individual for that platform, because I don't know about you, but my audience on Instagram is a little bit different to my audience on Facebook, and my audience on YouTube is different to my audience on Facebook and Instagram. So have a think about also, I wouldn't say wasting time, but just think about where your audience is going to be hanging out. So I think for you, Facebook and Instagram is ideal because, there's a lot of families there. There's a lot of young parents with young kids and swim schools and things like that. That's really key. But have a think about whether there's other places that you could have a go at and repurpose the content so that you don't have to keep doing it over and over again on different places. So once you've created something, think about maybe Pinterest as have a little play around, but don't spend too much time on new platforms at the moment. Just get yourselves known on one platform and build that audience up and get that engagement going, and then get through this period of isolation and change that we're going through. And then when you come out of the other side, you'll have all the content that you've created on the platforms that you're working on at the moment to then use on other places later on, as long, if you keep it sort of quite generalized to do with your topic and your business. So let's go over.
I am also trying to figure that out, about how to be able to do the video and also make that a blog and then make it posts and get quotes out of it and do with different images. So that's quite a lot that involved.
And take it small. Like I always say, if you that sounds quite overwhelming, like do this, do that, but just write it down, break it up into smaller, more achievable steps, and celebrate every time you achieve one of those goals, because that will really help you and keep you motivated. So if you do a live on your Facebook page and you download it and share it to Instagram, really celebrate that, because that's a big achievement in itself. There's a lot of people not doing that. So, just really remember to write the goals down and make them small and achievable, and then really do celebrate. We're cocooned in our homes for an indefinite amount of time at the moment. So, nobody's going to watch you jumping around going, yeah, I did it. It's up to us to do that. Celebrate however you wish to. And just remember that every small win you make is going to head towards that bigger goal at the end of the rainbow. And that's where we're working towards. So every little step counts. So that's really cool.
Is there a way to do captions on a Facebook Live? Your little captions that run on the bottom. Is there a way to do that easily? Because I did a Facebook Live this morning and then it was really hard because the captions were saying something totally different, and it took me hours and hours to actually get them right. Is there some way to do it easily?
When you're live, you can't have those sorts of this is happening because I'm using a tool called StreamYard. So you can use this tool, this StreamYard tool, to go live into Facebook. So I would recommend having a little look. It enables you to do the things like show the questions like I've done like that. You can share your screen with it. You can have multiple people on the screen as well. Inside of Facebook itself, once you've been live, when you go in and optimize the video, you can then either get Facebook to generate the SRT for you. So they actually generate the captions. And that's what I think you're talking about. It takes ages to go through it and correct it. Or
because always the timing is wrong.
Yeah, so you could download the video and send it to somewhere like rev.com. So rev.com basically create captions for you. So it's rev.com, and they create captions for you. So they create what's known as an SRT file. That SRT file is all your captions together. Now with Facebook, there'll be two choices of SRT file in rev.com. There'll be a .srt, and then there's a I don't think it's GB, but there's one that says Facebook in brackets next to it because it's different for Facebook. Choose both of those and then go back into the same video and upload the SRT file. So what you can do in rev.com is you can tell them, number one, that you've got an accent, so that you're based in South Africa. So it adjusts. They have people doing them manually as well, so they can adjust they'll listen to your words properly, and they'll be able to then pick up the accent, because I often say going to, and I always get gonna or gonna like that. So it's just it picks up your slang, and it picks up your accent a little bit. So don't worry if it's not perfect, the captions that Facebook create for you. We do need to optimize our videos for people who aren't listening to it, because 90% of people are watching video on mobile, and a lot of them can't actually listen to the video, so they do like to see the captions. At the moment, don't be too hard on yourself with the captions. If it's not quite in sync, it doesn't matter, because if somebody's watching the captions, they're not listening, so they don't know it's out of sync. As long as it's sort of generally on the right page, they will just listen to it rather than so they will read it rather than listen to it. So don't be too tough on yourself. Rev.com is $1 a minute for SRT conversion. So depending on the length of your video will depend on how much that will cost you. So have a good go at trying to do the captions. But I do my captions in Facebook like that. I'm not overly, as long as it's not a completely wrong word, then generally I just let it do its business, and most people will just skip over it when they're reading it anyway. They'll know. But otherwise, if you've got a piece of work that you really want to use for probably a paid promotion or something like that, then it's worth going through rev.com and actually getting it done properly. Okay, brilliant. So let's just jump over to Tracy and just see briefly what difficulties you've been having.
It's a very big changes, and I feel very overwhelming. And then last few days, although we are in the lockout, but I really feel very, very tired. It's like it's more tougher than last week. It seems like it's more tougher than last week. It's like so overwhelming, and a lot of things that you feel you want to do, and then sometimes you feel very frustrated that you don't know how to do.
Yeah.
And then where to find the resources, like especially online, there's so many, and then I don't know which one that suits me.
Yeah, I think one thing to do is to look at it in smaller chunks. So yes, you want to take things online because you want to keep that momentum going of your practice. So just decide, okay, I'm not going to be too fussy about going over to Instagram to try this out, and go wherever you're practicing first. So is Facebook or Instagram your chosen platform? Which one do you prefer to work on?
Facebook.
Yeah, so concentrate on Facebook and just like say to yourself, I'm going to do a live into my page. I'm going to set my phone up and, just accept it for now, because everybody, the beauty of live video is that it is natural. It doesn't have to be pre-planned. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're just sharing what your gift is to other people, and people will see that gift. And even if you just do a short 5 or 10 minute practice, that's enough, and then you can look at it and go, okay, that's great. So just break them down into little pieces. And although you want to be online and you want to be everywhere at the moment because you're restricted with what you're doing, it's okay to feel that that's what you want to do, but actually in realistic terms, just concentrate on one thing at a time and just set that goal. Yes, okay, your mic might not be perfect, your lighting might not be perfect, it doesn't matter. Just try and get yourself out there, and if you set yourself one goal a day to just do a 5 or 10 minute practice, and break them up so that you're not on there for too long and it doesn't exhaust you, and don't worry about the planning too much. If you break it up into smaller sections, then achieving it will be much easier as well. And the tech does overwhelm, which is why if you break, like I keep saying it, but if you do set yourself smaller goals, when you've achieved it, do celebrate it. Do say to yourself, because also we are working in an environment that we've not ever worked in before. We are experiencing emotions from all around that we've never had to experience before. We have a lot of external things influencing the way we feel when we wake up and the way we go to sleep. So just remember that, like, when you wake up, take a moment to really come into yourself and just appreciate and think of all the positives that can come out of this. You're learning about new things. The planet's having a bit of a break. There are dolphins in the sea where they've not been for years, and just think about all the positives, and then wake up with a slightly more brighter, open mind, and then just go, okay, I'm just going to share 10 minutes of my gift with everyone else, and then just go about doing other things and just celebrate the fact that you've done that. Because I think mindset has a big play in it, and it is difficult to stay positive, especially when there is so much happening at the moment. But I think if you just spend time coming to yourself and just think, actually, I can do this, and I'm really good, and I can achieve everything I want to achieve, but it might not be just right now because of what's happening. But you can spend time planning, maybe write down all the ideas that you've got to do with your business for the future, and you can write them down, and then you've always got those to come back to and work on at a later date. but writing them down always keeps them in your, in your mindset, and they'll be there for you to use later. Okay, brilliant. And also don't forget that, if you ever get stuck with anything, to just add it into the group, because we're all there to help each other. And we'll all be talking about that a bit later when we're in the networking. So we're just going to jump over to Jan now, just to finish off. So how, what are you doing? I mean, obviously we've spoke about what you're doing differently. So how are you sort of like moving yourself in a different direction, Jan?
Yeah, it is. Probably this week it's making friends with Zoom more. I think that's probably my thing to look at this week. Two things really. I'm looking into starting. I mean, my platform is LinkedIn. That's where I am 99% of the time. So I'm looking into maybe opening a LinkedIn group, and also maybe some of the stuff I'm thinking about doing. I use Instagram, but personally, so I'm thinking maybe of sort of having smaller nuggets of my LinkedIn posts in Instagram. And I think to do that, I'm perhaps going to have to revisit some of your training, Anita, on Canva. So I've got some nice sort of visuals as captures to use on Instagram. So I've got plenty to be getting on with. You'll be getting a lot of questions from me. Watch this space.
That's okay. That's brilliant. Okay, that's fab. And I think just bear in mind that concentrate on one platform and then do everything in the background. And then when you can really like feel that you're okay with everything, because you can always prepare the posts for Instagram to move into Instagram at a later date and have them all ready, so that when you do decide, actually, I'm going to do 2 platforms now, that you've got a catalogue of posts and updates ready to then just go ahead, and then you haven't got to spend as much time on that platform as perhaps you would have done. So
it's just I've just got a particular idea that I mean I perhaps talk to you about it at 3:30 and get your view. I've got a particular series of LinkedIn posts that I think might translate quite well into Instagram, but I'll raise it with you again at 3:30.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, brilliant. So I just wanted to say thank you very much, Jan, Tori and Tracy, for joining me. I know it's different times in the world at the moment. I know it's probably quite late in Malaysia. I don't know what time it is for you, Tori, but thank you all for sharing what you've been doing and how you've been changing things up over the last few weeks, because it's really helped. It will really help people when they're watching this on the replay. So if you have any groups or anything like that, then please pop them in the comments underneath this live so that people can access them, and they'll be able to join in and jump into your groups and your practices and things like that. So I'm going to say goodbye to everyone. Thank you for those that have joined us and have stayed joined in for the whole. We've been live for nearly 50 minutes, so we've been talking for quite some time about what are the things that we've been doing differently in our business right now, what difficulties have stopped us regarding tech and video and apps, and what are we doing online differently, and what platforms are we working on, and things like that. So thank you all for coming along, and see you all soon.
Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Anita. Cheers.
Bye.